Are you ready to be swept up in a world full of mysteries and riddles? We still have a lot of questions about how some places could have been created, and even scientists don't know the answers. The Superstition Mountains are a series of hills in Arizona known for their hidden treasures and secrets. According to legend, the hills contain the treasure of the notorious outlaw Jacob Waltz, known as the Dutchman. Countless searches for their treasure have been organized, but to date, it's never been found. Many people believe that the treasure is still hidden somewhere in the hills. There's also been reports of supernatural forces lingering in the area.
Nan Madol is an artificial island near Micronesia and is sometimes called the Atlantis or the eighth wonder of the world of the Pacific Ocean. The island dates back to the 8th or 9th century and is built on a coral reef. Among archaeologists and historians, its construction is both a miracle and a mystery. No one remembers how the people who were called the Soldeliers were able to lift the gigantic black stones that form the foundation of the city. These stones are estimated at 750,000 tons, while the basalt blocks lying on the high walls weigh as much as 50 tons each. There is no evidence that the Soldeliers had the tools to lift the heavy stones. Legend has it that Nan Madol was created by the twin wizards, Olashipa and Olashopa, who hovered the huge stones with the help of a dragon. Another legend claims that giants once lived on the island.
Segobriga is an ancient Roman city in Spain, known for its beautiful remains of ancient buildings and infrastructure. However, there are also rumors that the city contains hidden passageways and treasure chambers that have yet to be discovered. Some think that these hidden rooms may have been used as hiding places for inhabitants during wars or as storage places for valuables. There are even those who claim to have seen how these corridors move or change, suggesting that there may be other mysterious forces at work in this location.
It won't surprise you that the world's oceans cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface. But what if I told you that there is even more water? For example, did you know that an ocean has been found under the ground? In fact, some scientists have discovered that there is a huge reservoir of water under the Earth's crust. It is located in the Earth's mantle and is actually hidden more than 400 miles or 645 kilometers below the surface. But here's something even more incredible. The amount of water locked up in there is 3 times the amount of water on the surface. What's more, it's locked up in the rocks. So the theory that the ocean formed after the comet hit our planet can now be questioned. What if the water seeped out of the center of the Earth? If so, this is something we know almost nothing about.
The Rickhat structure is a circular geological formation in Mauritania, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. It's thought to have originally been a meteorite crater, but there are also speculations that it's the remains of the mythical Atlantis. The structures are a striking contrast to the surrounding desert landscape, leading many to question about how they were formed and what their purpose was. Some even claim that the formation was a landing strip of some sort used by aliens. The Sisilco Pyramid is an ancient Mayan pyramid in Mexico, known for its antiquity and the strange way it was built. The pyramid is built on a slope, leading to speculation that it has some kind of observatory, or that it was oriented towards the stars in some way. Some even claim that the pyramid is connected to other ancient Mayan structures in a way that is still not understood by science. However, it's a popular site for people interested in Mayan culture.
The giant footprints of Ain Dara in Syria could be proof that giants lived on Earth thousands of years ago. Furthermore, the giants could be the gods who lived there. But this mystery would be nearly impossible to solve. Ain Dara is a small town in Syria, and this town has many secrets because it's full of ancient buildings and structures, including the Ain Dara Temple. It is assumed that the temple was built in the Iron Age, between 1200 BC and 600 BC. However, it is very difficult to explain what kind of temple it was, and what god or gods were worshipped there. But the biggest mystery of this place is a pair of giant footprints in the ground before entering the Ain Dara Temple. Moreover, there is a third footprint not far from the first two. What do you think? Did giants actually exist? Let me know in the comments.
The Devil's Kettle is a waterfall in Minnesota, USA, known for the fact that some of the water disappears in a large swirl and never reappears. There are numerous theories about what happens to the water, but to date, there's no clear answer. Some think that the water may be flowing to an underground river, while others think that it may be going to a parallel dimension. There are even those who claim to have seen how the water disappeared into the swirl and then never reappeared.
Bovid Island lies between Africa and Antarctica, in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean, and is probably the most isolated, uninhabited place in the world. The island is surrounded by icy cliffs, and the almost 31 square miles, or 50 square kilometers area, is largely covered with glaciers. On April 2nd, 1964, Lieutenant Commander Alan Crawford of the Royal Navy was sent on an expedition to the island. He and his team were surprised to discover an abandoned lifeboat in the island's lagoon. The boat had no engine and no sails, and the island can only be reached by helicopter. This is because the high cliffs and heavy seas make it almost impossible to reach the island by boat. 2 years after Crawford's voyage, another expedition was sent to the island. The new team found the island, but the lifeboat had mysteriously disappeared. So the big question is what happened to the crew members of the lifeboat? What do you think? One of Earth's greatest mysteries are the towers of the Himalayas, because no one knows who built them and why. All that is known is that the towers were built about 700 to 800 years ago, and that they were built by the ancestors of the local people. The towers are 100 to 200 feet, or 30 to 60 meters high, and the people who built them would not have had modern equipment. However, the towers are scattered throughout the Himalayas in the region of Kangpo, Changthang, Minyak, and Gyeongsang. Even the locals have no idea who and why they were built. The first time the towers were described was during the Ming Dynasty, which ran from the 14th to the 17th century AD. The main theory about the purpose of building these towers is to show the power and wealth of a certain family, as the towers were usually built in wealthy villages.
The Lost Gardens of Helligan are a series of historic gardens in Cornwall, England, known for their beauty and the way that they've been neglected and decayed. These gardens were originally an important part of an estate, but after the end of World War I, they fell into disrepair and were almost forgotten. In the 1990s, the gardens were restored and refurbished, and today they are a popular tourist attraction. There are countless stories about the history of the gardens and the secrets they hold, and some even claim that there are hidden rooms or treasure chambers that have yet to be discovered.
The Chocolate Hills are nicknamed Chocolate because they really earned the name. Found on the small island of Bohol in the Philippines, this place is a mysterious natural wonder. According to an old legend, the Chocolate Hills were created when the tears of a giant with a broken heart fell on the ground and made the hills grow. Another legend tells that there was a fight between two giants and they threw boulders at each other. When their fight was over, the hills grew in the places where the two boulders came down. From a scientific point of view, there's a theory that the Chocolate Hills are the remains of limestone deposits. From a time when rivers rose well above the sea level, it is believed that the island was slowly formed by rain and other natural sources of water.
The Gunky Womp Mystery Rocks, located in Groton, Connecticut, are a series of unusual stone structures that have long puzzled scientists. This site consists of several stone chambers, walls, and underground tunnels believed to be 1,000 years old. One of the most mysterious aspects of the rocks is the fact that they appear to be much older than the surrounding structures.
I'm sure you've heard about Adam and Eve. According to the Hebrew Bible, they were the first man and woman on earth to live in a beautiful paradise called the Garden of Eden. If this place still existed, some historians believe it would resemble Socotra Island in the Arabian Sea. Legends claim that Socotra Island is where Adam and Eve lived. There are about 700 species of plants and animals present on the island that you will only encounter on this island. One of them is the dragon's blood tree. This is an umbrella-shaped tree with a red-colored juice that was considered as real dragon's blood by the ancient people. Nowadays, the red juice of the tree is used for paint. There are also 11 different species of native birds, of which heaps are threatened with extinction. The great Venetian explorer, Marco Polo, once claimed that flying snakes lived on the island, but phoenix nests in the mountains have also been spotted. Would this mythical bird from the Harry Potter movie really exist? What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
Stonehenge is an ancient prehistoric monumental circle in England, known for its enormous stones and the inexplicable way that they were placed. Some scholars believe that Stonehenge was intended as a religious center or for ritual purposes. There are even those who claim that Stonehenge contains a hidden message, or that it's aligned with the stars in some way. The Kaimanawa Wall is a series of rock formations in New Zealand, known for their strange and inexplicable shapes. Some claim that the rocks contain hidden messages or symbols left by ancient Maori tribes. There are also stories of people who have seen strange apparitions or heard spirits near the rocks. Twin Town Kodini is a small village in Malappuram, district of Kerala, India. It's known for its unusually high number of twins. About 600 twins live in the village, which has a population of 2,000 people. This is about 45 times the national average of twins per population. The phenomenon has been studied by scientists, but the cause of the high number of twins in Kodini remains a mystery.
Wrangel Island is mysterious and wild. It is located between Alaska and Russia and is about the same size as Yellowstone National Park, and no people live there. However, there is one person who did decide to live on this island. This is Igor Olinikov. There are only a few people in the past who have been on Wrangel Island and could not leave. This place is a haven for wildlife, and it has its own complex ecosystem, so it's better that people do not interfere with the wildlife there. In addition, the island is one of the most remote places on Earth. An interesting fact is that scientists believe that the last woolly mammoths became extinct on Wrangel Island. However, today you can find the largest population of polar bears there. If you've ever seen the pictures of this cave or perhaps visited this place, you'll agree that it's truly beautiful. But there is a mystery here. For the Lekugia cave hides underground and is said to be over 4 million years old. Located in New Mexico, this cave was for a long time just a small and not very important historical site. Until scientists realized that the wind, which they hear from below, must be hiding something. After getting permission to start digging 2 years later, they uncovered large corridors. The scientists discovered a total of 121 miles, or 195 kilometers of corridors, and increased the depth of the cave to nearly 1,650 feet, or 500 meters. This made the Lekugia cave the deepest limestone cave in the US and a magnet for tourists and scientists. Henderson Island is an uninhabited island in the South Pacific that was first discovered in 1606 by Portuguese captain Pedro Fernandes de Queiroz. The island is only 22 square miles, or 37 square kilometers, and in 1988 the island was included in the World Heritage List. There have been many mysterious events on the island, because it would have been the inspiration for the Moby Dick story. In November of 1820, when a whale sunk the whaling ship Nantucket, some surviving crew members managed to reach the coast of Henderson Island using small boats. One of the crew members, Thomas Chappell, reported in his reports that he saw several human skeletons in a cave, believed to be the remains of a family washed ashore by another shipwreck. In 1957, an adventurer named Robert Termarkin even lived on this island for 2 months with his chimpanzee. Travelers from all over the world come to Wyoming to see the incredible Devil's Tower. The Devilish Tower is a whopping 3 times the height of the Statue of Liberty. But what makes this rock so special is how it was formed. Since the 1800s, scientists have tried to unravel the mystery of its formation, but it still remains unknown. Even though there is a broad agreement on the geological history of the Devil's Tower, there are a few details that cause all the excitement around the rock. Scientists say it was formed by the solidarity of minerals or organic material with the help of wind and water. It is believed that the area was covered by the sea between 225 and 195 million years ago, during the Triassic period, and then, after 59 million years of receding water, something drastic happened. Today, there are a lot of theories about how it was formed, and the most popular one is that it was once the center of a volcano. Other people believe that the Devil's Tower is a giant tree stump.
Baalbek is an ancient city in Lebanon, known for its massive Roman temple complexes. The temples are built on a series of gigantic stone blocks that weigh up to 800 tons. It's unclear how these huge blocks were transported to this location, and how they were placed, leading to speculation about the involvement of aliens or hidden technologies. Some even claim that the blocks were cut with such precision that it's impossible that they were made by humans. However, to this day, no one has been able to find concrete evidence to support these theories.
In 1906, Robert Peary, one of the most famous explorers, was on an expedition when he saw a small island just north of Greenland. He never set foot on the island, but only wrote it in his diary because at the time his only goal was the North Pole. His first expedition was not successful, so he was not looking for another sponsor who would pay for a new expedition. An acquaintance of his, named George Crocker, wanted to help him, and in return, Peary would name the island he discovered after Crocker. The only problem was that some explorers claimed that Crocker Island was a shadow island. This means that the island didn't really exist. Peary's former assistant, named Donald Macmillan, continued the research for years to gather evidence about the existence of Crocker Island. After a long journey, it seemed that they saw the island in the distance. But gradually, the landscape changed. When it got dark, the island had disappeared, so it turned out to be a fata morgana, or a mirage.
The Kauai Gen volcano in Indonesia is known for its blue fire, a phenomenon in which gas flames light up at night and emit blue light. It's a rare phenomenon on Earth, and how it occurs remains a mystery. Some people claim it has to do with chemical reactions in the volcanic gas, while others think it may have to do with a supernatural force. Whatever the cause, it remains an impressive sight and a popular tourist attraction. Hegra, also known as Madain Salih, is an ancient Nabatean city in Saudi Arabia known for its monumental tomb monuments. The tomb monuments are built of huge blocks of stone placed in a way that seem impossible to remove. It's unclear how these blocks were transported to this location, leading to speculation about the involvement of aliens or hidden technologies. Some even claim that the blocks were cut so precisely that it's impossible that they were made by human hands.
Did you know that the city of Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka has a map that can reveal all the secrets of the universe? At least, this is what tourists, pilgrims, and even some scientists think. According to various sources, the Stargate was an ancient gate that opened the doors of the universe for humans. Interestingly, in Ranmasu Uyana, which means Golden Fish Park, is surrounded by 3 maps of Buddha. If you managed to decipher these cards, you would get to know all the secrets of the universe. One of these maps is called Sakwala Chakraya, and is 6 feet, or 1.8 meters in diameter, and it is carved into the rock face. However, no one knows when and who did this, because it's not mentioned in any historical document. Many researchers think that it was therefore carefully kept secret by the Buddhist monks. The Eye, or El Ojo, as the inhabitants of Buenos Aires call it, it is a perfectly circular island floating in the middle of the swamp of the Piranha Delta. Floating islands are actually a natural phenomenon that exists all over the world, but it's also very rare. The Eye is probably only one of its kind. What is even more bizarre is the island rotates around its very own axis. As such, the island leans on different sides of the outer circle at different times of the year. It was first discovered by film producer Sergio Nuspalerm while scanning Google Maps for a possible location to film a documentary. Intrigued and surprised, he traveled to the place with a hydraulic engineer named Richard Petroni and a technical expert named Pablo Martinez. They discovered the water where the island floats is clear and cold, which is unusual given the swamps surrounding it. Nobody knows to this day how the island was formed, but some people speculate that there is a UFO base hidden under the island. Have you ever seen one river merge with another? It looks like a real miracle, and the view is incredible. The place where the 2 rivers, Rhone and Arve, merge is called La Jonction, and is located in Geneva, a city in Switzerland. The incredible thing is that both rivers have its own color, and that makes this phenomenon even more unusual. Interestingly, the rivers never fully merge because both waters have different densities. The first river, the Rhone, is one of the largest and most important rivers in Europe and starts in the Swiss Alps, flows through the Lake of Geneva, and ends in France. The Arve River rises near Mont Blanc, Massif, in the Alps, and receives its water from the glaciers in Chamonix Valley before falling into the Rhone. Not surprisingly, many tourists come to visit the place every year.
The Carolina Bays are a series of bowl-shaped lowlands in the United States, known for their strange shapes and inexplicable origins. Some believe the lowlands were created by meteorite impacts, while others think they may be a result of geological phenomena such as tectonic plates or volcanic activity. There are even those who claim that the Carolina Bays contain a hidden message or are aligned with the stars in some way. The Ringing Rocks are a series of rocks in Pennsylvania, USA, known for their strange ability to sing when struck with a hammer. There are numerous theories, but so far no one's been able to find a clear answer. Some think it has to do with the chemical composition of the rocks, while others think it may have to do with the vibrations caused by the blows. Whatever the cause, it remains a strange and fascinating phenomenon.
Oak Island is an island located in the province of Nova Scotia, in Canada. On the island, there's a huge shaft called the Money Pit, which has been lying there for hundreds of years. It is unclear who built it and why, but according to the stories, a great treasure is buried here. The producers of the TV series, The Curse of Oak Island, found this so interesting that they wanted to document everything when they would find the treasure. Several theories claim that the island is full of historical artifacts and treasures, including those from pirate Captain Kidd, but also the manuscripts of William Shakespeare, the jewels of Marie Antoinette, and even the Holy Grail, and the Ark of the Covenant. However, the island has been turned inside out for more than 200 years, but no treasures have ever been found. According to ancient legends, 7 people would not have survived in search of the treasures on the island. Number 1. The Baitagega crater is located in Serbia. It's known as a passageway to the underworld, and the villagers of Yakutia are said to even fear it. This is because the crater is expanding every year and getting bigger. The crater was created in the 1960s due to deforestation in the area. The deforestation caused the soil to collapse and resulted in a phenomenon called drunken trees, which basically means that the trees can no longer grow straight. The situation causes the crater to grow larger each year, and over the past 10 years, it has grown between 30 and 100 feet, or 9 and 30 meters larger each year. Although the crater seems dangerous for the local population, scientists claim that it can reveal a lot about our planet's past. Due to the melting of the permafrost, scientists have found the remains of a muskox, a mammoth, and a 4,400-year-old horse. Easter Island is a Polynesian island in the Pacific Ocean and became famous for its nearly 1,000 statues called moai. These were created by the Rapa Nui people, who were the early inhabitants of the island. These statues are said to have been used to honor their ancestors. The moai statues were carved from volcanic stones and then moved all over the island for various ceremonies. However, the Rapa Nui people suddenly left the island. But so far, historians have not been able to determine the reason for this. There is a theory that people on the island had to cut down trees to make way for agriculture and the construction of more moai statues. Eventually, this led to the destruction of the forest on the island, which was their main source of income. But other historians say that this is not true. Another mystery on the island is how these people managed to create such large statues. One of the statues is 33 feet, or 10 meters high, and weighs 75 tons. Unfortunately, many of these questions remain unanswered to this day.
The Vodovara rocks, located in the Kerala region of Russia, are a series of large, unusual rocks that have long been shrouded in mystery. The rocks, which are believed to be about 5 billion years old, are much larger and rounder than typical rocks found in the area. According to local legend, the Vodovara rocks are the remains of a group of giants that once lived there in the region. Despite the legend, the true nature of the Vodovara rocks remains a mystery. Scientists, however, believe the rocks were formed by natural processes, such as glacial erosion or tectonic activity. Mount Roraima, located in the Amazon rainforest on the border of Brazil, Venezuela, and Guyana, is a towering sandstone mountain with many mysteries. Home to a variety of unique plant and animal species, the mountain is considered one of the oldest geological formations on Earth. With an estimated age of more than 2 billion years old, rock drawings and carvings believed to have been made by ancient indigenous people who lived in the region are also said to have been found. There are even rumors that dinosaurs still roam here. Do you believe it? The Kelimutu volcano is an active volcano on the island of Flores in Indonesia, known for its 3 colorful lakes located at different heights on the mountain. Each lake has a unique color: blue, red, and black, and the lakes are also constantly changing color. However, what causes these color changes remains a mystery. Although some scientists believe it has to do with chemical reactions in the water or by microorganisms.
In May of 1933, the Soviet Union deported 6,000 people to a small isolated island in western Serbia. According to the plans of Genrikh Yagoda and Joseph Stalin, these people had to convert the Nazino Island into a settlement within 2 years. But what was considered a strategic plan became chaotic. Most of the people who were accommodated on the island were criminals, unemployed, and people who did not have the proper Soviet papers. Also, most of them were city dwellers, who knew nothing about cultivating land. Moreover, there was a constant famine. The people were only given flour for food that they had to mix with river water. This resulted in diseases and serious health problems that did not end well for them. Within a few weeks, more than 4,000 people had disappeared, died, or were in poor health conditions.
The fairy circles are a series of uncultivated pieces of land found in the desert of Namibia in Africa. The circles are believed to have been created by termites, but the exact cause of their formation is unknown. Other scientists believe the shape of the circles was created by underground water sources. Unfortunately, the mystery remains unanswered, but it's a beautiful place to visit.
The Sentinelese are a population of between 50 and 400 people who have cut themselves off from the rest of the world. They survive on the North Sentinel Island in the Gulf of Bengal in India and are one of the last populations on Earth not to undergo any form of modernization. The island was first visited in 1880 by Indian anthropologist Trinak Nath Pandit, together with a group of passengers and crew members. At first, there seemed to be no aggression, but when they decided to stay too long, the Sentinelese had enough. Years later, an exploration of the island took place under the leadership of Maurice Vidal, but he only found deserted cabins. The indigenous people apparently knew that people were coming and decided to go into hiding. However, a family of 6 were not afraid, and they were found by Vidal and his people. Vidal took 2 parents with him and left the 4 children behind. So it is not surprising that the Sentinelese people don't want to see visitors and outsiders on the island because of this experience.
In the heart of Kazakhstan lies a small town known as the Sleepy City. Although at first glance the town looks like any other city, there's something strange about it, as almost all of its inhabitants seem to be in some kind of coma. Some think the inhabitants may have been frozen in time, while others think there may be some kind of virus or disease that struck the city. What's the most mysterious place you've ever visited? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we made, click one on the screen, or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.